Ladles and jelly spoons, welcome to Beeps to Bangers. Today we're diving into the world of adventure, monsters and balls. Lots of ball types actually. And of course battles as we explore the great region of Kanto on a quest to catch them all whilst analysing the fantastic music of the original Pokémon Red, Blue and Yellow. And Green if we're being thorough. Now then, for an episode like this where we dive deep into the musical genius of these games, there can be but one man to help us today. I've travelled to Cerulean City, I went past Pallet Town and found him on Route 212. His expert musicianship brain is going to help us dive into the fantastic world of Pokemon.
Mr. B from Mr. B's ukulele channel. I do love Mr. B's splendid ukulele tunes.
I'm the king of the swingers.
I've got bad news. Mr. B were not available on such short notice. You know, with him being Classic FM's Teacher of the Year, runner-up, and bringing us fantastic ukulele videos on his YouTube channel. Link down below.
Happy Pokemon Day, everybody!
Oh, Christ. What's he ever won? Yeah, what's he ever been nominated for in music? His first instrument was the drums, you know. He knows nothing about music, he can barely boil a kettle. Speaking of which, who's for a brew?
Welcome to another edition of Beeps to Bangers. Despite the petition, we are indeed back to dive deep into the musical world of video games.
Pokemon, the world of digital evolution. My favourite was Angelmon.
It's Pokemon, Keith. It's not Digimon. You did this last year. However, why am I not surprised that your favourite one was Angelmon?
What's that supposed to mean? I mean, I just can't tell the two of them apart. It's like that time at Badger Watch with me and my good friend Mr. Boone. We were learning about the European badgers that have been observed engaging in behaviours akin to burial practices. In a 2013 study, researchers documented badgers in the UK meticulously covering their deceased members of their clans with soil, leaves and vegetation.
I thought this video was meant to be about Pokemon. Aye, get on with it.
Let's look at the music from one of the biggest gaming franchises ever made. We are going to focus primarily on Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, and yes, Green. This was the first generation of Pokemon and arguably the most iconic. The music for these games was composed by the brilliant Junichi Masuda.
Pokémon Red, Blue and Yellow are role-playing games developed by Game Freak and published by Nintendo for the Game Boy. The games were the first instalment of the Pokémon video game series, originally released in 1996 in Japan as Pocket Monsters Red and Green, and later in the year Pocket Monsters Blue. The games would receive international release in 1998 and 1999 under the name Pokémon Red and Blue, with a further special edition of the game, Pokémon Yellow, being released in Japan in 1998 and other regions in 1999 and the year 2000. The game follows Storia Red, a Pokémon trainer who aims to complete the Pokédex by catching all the Pokémon in the region of Kanto and becoming the ultimate Pokémon master by collecting all 8 gym badges and defeating the Elite Four in Pokémon battles. Depending on which edition of the game you buy, you will encounter specific Pokémon to the edition you have. This encourages players to trade Pokémon with their friends who might own a different edition at game to complete the Pokédex by the use of link cables which connect the two Game Boys together. This also allowed players to battle each other, helping establish the fundamental aspects of the Pokémon series that are still poignant to this day. Ah, yes, the good old link cable back in the days when Wi-Fi wasn't available and we would connect our games consoles together. Those were the days.
Now, before we dive into the excellent music of Junichi Masuda, let's have a look at what the critics have said about these iconic games.
Ah yes, the Pokémon games received mainly positive reviews, with an aggregate score of 88% on game rankings. A lot of praise were given to game's multiplayer features, with IGN scoring the game a masterful 10 out of 10, noting that even if you finished Quest, you might still not have all Pokémon in game. A lot of critics highlighted the need to catch all 151 Pokémon as the game's biggest drawer. The games have since been remade as Pokémon Fire Red and Pokémon Leaf Green to bolster up an already incredible game. The series kick-started a global franchise that is still popular today, with games spawning many spin-offs, a trading card game, a TV series, movies, merchandise and books. In 2019, PC Magazine included Pokémon games on their top 10 Game Boy games retrospective list, cementing the games as classic RPGs. They even outsold Final Fantasy VII in 1997, and in 2009 IGN stated Pokémon Red and Blue as the best-selling RPGs of all time.
Okay, now the music, featuring such classic tunes as the main theme music for the game, the exciting Pokémon battle music, the fantastic Pokémon Center melody, and the soft but engaging Cerulean City. The music within the game is captivating, exciting and joyous, which really sets out the tone for the music overall. Masuda's music helps elevate a fantastic game even further, with the music becoming synonymous with the franchise itself. If you've made it this far into the video, thank you so much. Please do consider giving us a like and subscribing to the channel, and of course share this video out amongst your friends. Now back to the exciting world of Pokemon.
As the game screen loads up, you'll be forgiven for allowing music to play on as you watch the pixelated Pokemon battle in front of you on the screen. Now Masuda is a piano and trombone player by trade and began his composition career in 1989. He was a member of Game Freak, where he was an employee and executive at the company since 1989, when he founded it alongside Satoshi Tajiri and Ken Sugimori. In 2022, Masuda was appointed to be the Creative Chief Fellow at the Pokemon Company.
Masuda was born on the 12th of January 1968 in Japan, and as a child Masuda would often vacation with his family to Kyushu, where he spent his time collecting fish and insects. Masuda was so inspired by his time there that he would later go on to base the Pokemon regions of Hone from Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire after that location.
Masuda was hired to compose the video game music for Game Freak, with earlier titles such as Mendial Palace, a 1989 puzzle game for the Nintendo Entertainment System. After Mendial Palace, Masuda worked on Yoshi, which was Game Freak's first collaboration with Nintendo.
Oh, music's beautiful, isn't it? Imagine how peaceful the world would be if that theme, you know, just followed you around everywhere, every day. Imagine hearing that music when you're out on Badger Watch with Mr. Boone. Come on now, Mr. Boone, it's this way.
Ooh. As well as his great compositional mind, Masuda has also been heavily involved in the Pokemon universe by naming and designing many Pokemon. He also stated that one of the hardest aspects of his design work is making sure that Pokemon's names and attributes will appeal to a global audience. Since Pokemon Ruby and Pokemon Sapphire released in 2002, Masuda has been one of the main employees who approves or rejects design ideas for Pokemon and serves on the board of directors for Game Freak. Masuda's musical style draws from several sources, particularly classical music, with influences from Igor Stravinsky and Dmitri Shostakovich. His favourite genre is techno. He cited the Super Mario series as a major inspiration, believing that its music works especially well. I'd have to agree with him on that. Beyond composition, Masuda also has a keen eye for design. He attended Japan's Electronics College, a technical school in Shinjuku, Tokyo, where he studied computer graphics and C programming language. In 2002, his daughter was born, inspiring the name of the character in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire.
As well as composing and being a key figure behind the design and overall presentation of the Pokemon games, Masuda has also produced the ending themes to Pokemon Shiritori and Batsugam Type for Pokemon Journeys, with the Japanese electronic group Pasucom Music Club.
Now then, although Masuda has delved into many aspects of Pokemon World, there is no denying that his musical legacy will remain intact due to the fantastic compositions that still stand the test of time today. and his contribution to the world of video games and Pokemon has centred Pokemon as a true force of nature in the pop culture world. His contribution cannot be understated. Yes, and we would also like to mention a couple of other games to look out for in the Masuda list, including Meandale Palace and Yoshi that we mentioned earlier, but also Mario and Wario, released in 1993 for the Super Famicom, and Pulseman, released in 1994 for the Sega Mega Drive.
Thank you everyone for watching this video today. We hope to see you for the next Beeps to Bangers episode, where we will delve even further into the world of music within our favourite medium. We would like to take this time to thank Masuda for his amazing contributions to one of gaming's biggest franchises, not just as a composer, but for the variety of roles he has taken within the Pokemon universe.
Now then, please do give this video a old like if you've enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel, and of course share this video out with your chums. Maybe you'll get inspired to get the old Game Boy link cable out and trade Pokemon the old fashioned way. Well, I guess there's only one thing left to do in this video. Engage! Hit it!
Hitting it!